But when I was back in, I think it was primary school actually, but where we used to get free tickets to go along to the Glory back at Subiaco Oval, as it was then, when they were going between the two grounds. Used to go to a few games with my family when we got tickets through school. Didn't go to a lot of games, wasn't like it was when I was an adult, but yeah, used to go to a few games here and there. And then when I was playing as a kid, used to go to a few games back in, what would have been late 90s, early 2000s when I was younger. I think I loved kind of the family aspect of it. I was really young, so I didn't really understand too much of what was going on. But I loved just to be able to go with all my friends in the school. Have a bit of a kick around before and after the game, and there was a real kind of family vibe about going to the games that I didn't really get going to watch other sports. Growing up, even like while I was a teenager, I still would only go to like a couple of games a year. It really changed, I guess, when I left school and started to go along. I used to be able to, obviously once I was 18, I can get into the shed and have a few beers, and I started to meet a few of the other fans. But I don't think I was ever as passionate as I became when I moved to Melbourne actually. It was actually the cup final that Glory played in Melbourne that I got to meet a lot of the guys like Justin and Mike and that on that night. I can't remember what year that was now. But it wasn't until I guess that game that I started to know these guys and go to all the games with these boys, and then in turn met all the Perth-based guys as well. My work schedule's a lot harder to get to. It means it's a lot harder for me to get to the games than the other guys that have the luxury of having every weekend off work. I unfortunately don't have that luxury, but usually depending on how many games we're playing in Melbourne during the season, usually get to at least kind of 3 or 4, and then as the boys were saying, they try to get over to Perth for at least 1 or 2 games, and then usually pop out to either come up to Sydney or go out to Adelaide, where it's a bit easier to get to from Melbourne than it is from Perth. There's a couple in Melbourne. I remember the semi-final against City that we won 2-0, where the away bay, it was the only Melbourne game that we've had the away bay behind the goal at Amy Park.
Most away fans sit in the corner, but maybe because this is an FFA-controlled match and they've got the prime active supporters area right behind the Melbourne City goal as the match has started.
Just for the pure, I guess, atmosphere from the away bay was unreal. Obviously, to win a final away from home as well was just unreal.
Did it played first time? Chianese! Superb! 2-0 Glory! And Joel Chianese angled it into the corner. Bazanis, no chance. Glory are in heaven here.
Also, I can't remember what year it was, when Andy Keogh scored a hat trick.
And he's picked him out. Oh, how good from the Perth Glory on the set piece. Denied by Bratton first time around, that's in. The Glory do take the lead. And now a chance for Keogh. And he's done it. Completes the hat trick.
See that hat trick and then seeing all the players after the game and being able to be around Keogh, who scored the hat trick, that was just unreal to be able to, I guess, be around that, and the atmosphere inside those, in the state, even though we were the away fans, it felt like we were at home. Obviously, I've lived in Melbourne for 8 years now, and the other guys have lived in Melbourne for even longer. So we know a lot of the Melbourne fans just purely because that's where we live. Especially me, I come across a lot of them through my work and everything. So every time we're playing one of the Melbourne teams, we always see mates that we know. We'll go out and have a beer at half time and things like that. And even when we're watching games, when we're playing away from, or when we're playing in Perth, when we're playing at home but not where we live, being able to meet up, we usually meet up and watch a few of the games with a few of those boys. I think especially when Glory are in town, people don't expect there to be such a away following. It's always a nice surprise, especially for a team like Melbourne Victory, who've got, usually pack out the stadium. Well, were packing out the stadium until recent incidents. Whenever we bring a big following, or like even you know when we're at the pub, people kind of look at us like never seen a Glory fan in their life. But it's great like being able to chat to some people about like you know where, because the Glory have been around for you know a lot longer than most of the LA clubs or all of the LA clubs. You know, chatting about like football back in the day, it's really great. Growing up, I always used to love watching Bobby Despotowski. He was always my, even though I wasn't a forward when I played as a kid. He was a player that I always loved watching, especially when I was younger. And then, yeah, obviously as I got older, players like, yeah, I mean, obviously Diego Castro, unreal player. You know, he's amazing to watch. And then, yeah, there's been a few players recently where they've just been amazing to, you know, come in contact with, you know, after the game and stuff that we've got along really well with. So. We feel like a family around the Glory. I guess a family feeling that we don't get supporting other sports and things like that. You know, we can go and we can chat to the players after. There's no other team that I've followed that I can, after the game, straight after the game, go and shake hands with the players at the pub afterwards, and you know have a bit of a chat with them. You know, take photos with someone who's just scored a hat trick. You know, half an hour earlier. But being able to, you know, it's all about mateship really. I never would have met any of these guys if it wasn't for the Glory, and it's just not something that I've got, even when I moved to Melbourne supporting like the Dockers or something, that I didn't get with there, but I got with the Glory.